Okay, I think we're live. What's up? Good evening, everybody. My name is Aremu Smog, and welcome to this month's edition of Beyond the Code. Beyond the Code is a web boss monthly webinar where we talk about things beyond the code. That is, things beyond the art skills in tech. Because we believe things like learning how to write code, you want to learn JavaScript, front-end development, content writing, technical writing, those are things that you can learn anywhere, right? But there are conversations within the tech space that we believe that are not being talked about enough, and that's why we started Beyond the Code. And this month, we'll be talking about a very interesting topic, which is where exactly is the money in tech? Because everybody says go into tech, go into tech. But then this tech that everyone is clamoring that you should go into, where exactly is the money in that tech? And to do justice to that topic, I have two seasoned professionals, an engineer and a product manager who will be taking us through this topic and giving us all the insights that we need to know on where the money in tech is. So one of our speakers has been on the channel before, and while she was on the channel, she had should I say, a different career path. She was a front-end engineer then, but now she's a full-stack blockchain engineer, and she's also an author of two books actually that are focused on Web3, and we'll be giving away two copies of our books during this session. The conditions for to qualify for that will be shared later on. Our other speaker is also an author of The Blood Money in Tech. So you know that already that there's a lot of value that is coming in this session. And he's also co-founder of Enoverlab, right? And you get to meet them later down the line. And so talking about their books, so like I mentioned, we'll be giving away 2 copies of Grace's book, and there will also be 10 copies of the other author's book, right? Then 10 copies. And the condition to qualify to win any of the books is simply ensure that you are subscribed to Webboss YouTube channel, drop a comment about at least 2 lessons that you have learned from this session from any of the authors whose book you would like to win, and we'll pick the fastest fingers. Don't forget to drop your Twitter handle as well so that we can reach out to you. So let's get into the show proper. Like I might have mistakenly dropped, our first speaker is actually Grace Omole, who is a full stack blockchain engineer. And our second speaker is Olabanji Ewenla, who is a product manager. So I'll bring them up now to just say hi to the audience. Hi, Grace.
Hi, everyone. It's good to be here. And I hope you learn a lot from this program by the end of the day. It's been nice having time with you.
Amazing. So let me bring Olabanji up. Hi, Olabanji.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here and looking forward to having these conversations with you all.
Amazing. So, Olabanji, so let's start with you, right? Let's just like go straight into it, right? Yeah. And my first question to you is like, anytime someone says that there is money in tech, like one just say, oh, there's money in tech, like what immediately comes to mind, or like what do you say to the person when you hear, oh, there's money in tech?
Okay, so there is money in tech. There is money in tech. I think there is. The thing is this: there's actually money in tech. I think when people say there's money in tech, at least I wrote a book called The Blood Money in Tech, and I know what I mean when I said I wrote that book, especially because I understand that I've seen from the experiences of people around me. Let's not even talk about myself personally, but from the experiences of people around me, I've seen people make a lot of money in a short period of time. I've seen friends, being able to do a whole lot more in a short period of time. And I've seen, colleagues, I've seen pen friends, I've seen online friends, and I kind of see the result of what people are achieving just by working in tech or using their tech skills or digital skills, depending on whatever way you want to choose to call it, right? So, I've seen friends who work from Nigeria for companies outside of Nigeria and earn in dollars. I've seen friends who have traveled outside Nigeria due to their tech skills. So it's just that there's actually money in tech. Like there is so much money in tech, right? However, of course, there is not like everybody working in tech is making plenty money or making millions like that. Again, that's also one aspect, right? Not everybody, right? And there is a way around getting to understand how to make the money in tech, because again, just because you are a UI UX designer does just not mean that you're going to be making the money in tech, and neither because you are a software developer with very high skills does not mean you're going to make the money in tech. There's some, again, one, two, three things, which is again what I put into my book, what I felt like they are major insights that people want to focus on if they actually want to hit the money in tech. And not just hit the money in tech, because there's something about, I personally like sustainability of something, because it's possible for you to be, wealthy. Not, don't let me use the word wealthy. It's possible for you to be rich, have maybe a huge influx of money in 1 year, and then be broke for the next 10 years, right? So again, and I think maybe as we go ahead in this conversation, I'll kind of throw more light into that aspect of sustainability. But one thing definitely for sure is that there is money in tech. You can make a lot of money in tech. People have made a lot of money in tech. There is still a whole trailer load of money to make in tech, right? Because especially in Nigeria and Africa, the tech industry is still very young, right? In Nigeria and Africa, it is still very, very young. Of course, outside of Nigeria, in the US, UK, tech is a major, right? Well, right here in Nigeria, the tech industry is still young. In Africa, generally, the tech industry is still young. There's still, again, plenty of solutions. There's still plenty of problems to be solved for Nigerians. There's still plenty of problems to be solved in Nigeria, right? The tech industry right now in Nigeria is just majorly we are having a lot of fintech companies, right? I think I was checking on Statista a few days ago, and I saw that there's 144 fintech companies in Nigeria, like 144, right? But of course, you probably don't know a lot of them. Probably only know maybe the popular ones. Maybe probably can mention maybe like 10, 20 fintech companies. But according to Statista, there's 144. And meanwhile, fintech is like the number one, again, industry in tech or fintech aspect of tech is the one that is blossoming right now in Nigeria. But even the industry is still untapped because a lot of people are still focusing on payments, blah blah, blockchain. No, not even blockchain, payments, payment solutions, um, receiving funds, sending funds from Nigeria outside of Nigeria. They are all literally doing literally the same thing, right? And so there's still like again vast opportunity available out there for people to build better solutions, solve more problems, and and of course the effect or the result of solving more problems and building better solutions is that you make money. So let me just end it there. But yes, there is millions, billions of money to make in tech, like millions and billions of money to make in tech.
That's interesting. I like your emphasis on the much money to be made, the billions, and also stating how this is not just a facade, that it's
Mhm.
actually due to the fact that there are problems to be solved. And when you
Yeah.
solve problems, then of course the reward is money in the hand. So you
Mhm.
mentioned blockchain. So let's hear Grace's perspective on when somebody say there's money in tech, like what comes to mind. So let me bring Grace up now.
Okay, I so if anybody say there's money in tech, I'll say, well, yes, there's money in tech, but just like every other categories of companies we have, you have to work for it, right? So there is not just something you enter and you see immediate money, which a lot of people carry that mindset all around. Be like, Grace, I want to be like you. You're making this, you're making that. But then they are not ready to even do like 20% of what I'm doing. Or like I actually look up to people also, but because of looking up to them and I envy them so much that these people are making a lot of money. I want to make that money in 2 years. Actually, they've they've been coding for over 10 years, right? And it took time and it took processes, it took a lot of work, and it took a lot of sacrifices to actually make them get to that position that they have. So, like Olabanji said, there's surely money in tech which you can access. There are a lot of aspects of tech that you can earn money from. Currently number three, Web3 is number one, where there are a lot of, maybe let me call it blood money. But yeah, so if if carrying around the mindset that there's money in tech is good, but yeah, you should also know that there's work to do to actually get hold of the money. I follow a saying that if you want what they want, so let's say you look up to people, if you want what those people want, then you must do what they do or learn from them to not make their mistakes so your own journey might be faster. So that's it. Yes, there's money in tech, but you have to work to get it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Grace. I think the important lesson from me from the session is okay, apparently there's this money, but this money will not just come and meet you in your bedroom. Like you won't learn
Yeah.
small CSS and be like, oh, okay, let the dollars start rolling in. Like for example, like sometimes I wonder how you do it. Like you have a full-time job, you write articles, then you author 2 books, and like that cannot be luck. It is hard work. So even though there's money in tech, you must be ready to put in the work in order to get that money. Amazing. So Grace, so while you are here, I think the next question is can you just like walk us through your journey over the years, like over the next couple of minutes? Like you've been on the channel before as at then you were just like a front-end engineer. That was what you're doing full time. Now you're a full stack blockchain engineer. And even before then, there were things that you even did before you even like became a front-end engineer. Can you just like walk us through your journey so far, say over the next couple of 5 minutes?
Okay, so my journey so far, I started coding in 2016 December, and I not December though. I started, I think October thereabouts. Actually, I just realized that I'll be 6 years in tech by this year November. Like, wow, that's a lot of years. So yeah, I started coding in 2016, and I started with Java. Yeah, I love Java because it helped me to solve some mathematical problems. Because I studied mathematics actually, and I love maths. So when I saw that programming language, that, okay, I can use this to solve some quadratic equations and all of that. So I started coding in Java for a couple of months. I didn't have a system then. There was this brother that used to give me his laptop like every weekend just to practice. Yeah. So in the long run, when I got my system with so much crying and all of that to my parents, I continued, but I couldn't continue. Right? I continued coding in Java, but I got lost. It was boring. It started getting boring. It started getting um more harder, like very, it's not simple again. Let me just put it that way. It wasn't simple. Like I wasn't getting what I was doing, so I was so bored. Then I told the brother that actually helped me get started that I don't think I can continue with this Java. It's looking very hard. It's very hard. So he introduced me to web development. So what his advice then was I should go into web dev. Then my brain would have expanded because I will learn JavaScript, I will learn CSS and all of that. And if I learn JavaScript, my brain would have expanded. Then I'll be able to come to Java to continue using Java. But lo and behold, brothers and sisters, I did not go back to Java. But yeah, so that was how I started front end development, and I really enjoyed it. One of the reasons I enjoyed it was because I create designs and it's beautiful. Then people call me front end. That was my nickname, front end, because I really love creating beautiful designs and I was very creative with it. There was a time I created a solar system, different stuff, just playing around and learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript at that point. Then fast forward, I joined a hub called Planet Nest, which really helped my growth in tech. One of the major things that help your growth in tech is community collaboration. It really helped. So I was learning on my own for almost a year. The progress was there, but it was kind of slow. But when I joined Planet Nest, it was very fast because I saw people to actually interact with when I have any issue. There was someone beside me. Please, I have this issue. Can you help me solve it? From then, I started learning, and all of that. So, fast forward to when I was in 300 level. That was when I made my first money in tech, 40,000 naira, if I could remember. I was so happy that okay, I made 40,000 naira building a landing page, I guess. Yeah, it was a full website, but at least they first paid me that amount of money to build landing page and some other pages. And I got tired in the middle. And that was because I was getting intimidated. before then, I have been dealing with low self-esteem right from my secondary school, because I was the best student in mathematics in my secondary school, but then I couldn't go for competitions. And that was because what if I didn't win? What if I did not bring in the first position and all of that? So anytime there was competition, I always find a way to run away. Sometimes there was a time my math teacher came to me, so I was like, "Sir, I have pain. I cannot go." Like, just because of that low self-esteem that I was battling with, right? So in 300 level, by God's with God's help, and also with a lot of discussion with senior devs. I could remember then I had a discussion with Paul about this thing, and it was like one of the ways to actually overcome your fear is to face it, right? So he told me to just walk up to someone like a senior dev and just talk to him and all of that. Talk to him about what you know. He also shares what he knows, but you sharing what you know to a senior dev give you like a sense of confidence. Okay, yes, I think I know something, and I think I know what I'm doing, right? So with the help of God and also talking to people and all of that, I overcame that. Then moving forward, I joined a lot of community. A lot of community that I could join. I also started writing. I also started training people the little I know. One of the things I really love doing is to teach, and I thank God I know that early. Like, one of the best way to also learn is to teach. When you teach someone, you get it. Some things you don't even know about what you are teaching before you get an insight about it, right? So that was one major factor for me to learn. So if I want to, even in maths, if I want to learn something in mathematics, I try to teach someone. So if someone wants to do Laplace and I don't like Laplace, Laplace is hard, just let me teach you. Let me teach you Laplace. And then it sticks more to my head. Then I've taught you also, I've helped someone, I've also been helped by myself. So that was just it. Now fast forward, because of that, I write, I train. I was part of people that trained over 3,000 keys. I've trained a lot of people, right, in coding, Scratch, robotics, Python, introduction to Python, and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all over in Nigeria and outside Nigeria also. So moving forward, I've worked with a lot of companies, yeah. I've worked with a lot of companies and all of that also. Now to the point, okay, I think there's still question about that. So yes, that has been the journey so far. And because of this, I really I grow my confidence every day just by sharing what I know. And by even if it's just one person that it helps. Okay, I know that okay, I've helped this person. So that's how my confidence started growing, my low self-esteem started becoming high, that kind of thing. And really I thank God for the journey and all of that. I've worked with a lot of companies here in Nigeria. Now currently I'm working with a company in the UK. But yeah, I'm in Nigeria currently. And yeah, so that has been the journey so far. That was long.
Amazing. Like, it was, even though I had had a little about your journey before in the past, but I think there are new things that you actually shared in this new journey, and it's just so amazing. And I think two things that stood out for me is first and foremost is that you were unsure of yourself before you got to this point. So if anyone is trying to get into tech and they are unsure if they can do it or not, that is totally fine, because this is someone speaking to them that there were times where you felt like you could not do this, but then you did it because you didn't give up. It's all right to take a break. It's all right to talk to someone, and also trying your best to push yourself out there, or basically letting your light shine. Like, the little you know, try and share it with somebody else, and it helps it stick more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Grace, for sharing your journey with me and the audience as well. So let's hear a little bit about Olabanji's journey so far as well. Sam, you are up. Can you share your journey with us so far? Uh,
Okay. All right. So, how has it been for me so far? The thing is this: my journey is a very, very interesting one because um, I wouldn't say I've been in tech, but then I didn't even know it was tech, right? Because I started from writing. I've always been doing writing, so I was quite interested to hear that. Oh, Grace has been, Grace writes and she's a writer and she has been writing for some time now, right? And yes, that point that she made about when you teach somebody something, it helps you as the teacher kind of learns a lot. And it's something that I am personally passionate about, right? I even personally love teaching, right? I love teaching, and which is again the essence of Enoverlab by design. So, but yeah, my tech career path. So I started from, I used to be a content writer, right? Then I became a content manager. And the interesting thing is that all of that is even tech, but a lot of times we only focus on the technical aspect of tech. And I think I also said that in my book that, tech does not just limit to the technical aspect. You just, even if you don't have for coding, don't have left for design. I think I made mention of content writing as tech. What's the name now? Copywriting as tech, because literally, if a product is being developed or a product is being built, UX writing is also part of tech, right? If the UX copies are bad, then the entire product is going to be messed up, no matter how good the developer and the designer were or are, whatever the case may be. So I started as a content person. I was a content writer from like, I've been writing for a long time, right? But then specifically now writing for a tech company, right, which was Dash Out Technologies in the US. It was more or less like a freelance work. It started as a freelance work, right? I started there. Then I was doing content writing. I was doing communications. Again, it was a mixture of content and communications. Then I went into another company in Hemingway's, also South African company that was based in Lagos. Again, I was doing communications management. So I kind of was into writing and anything communications, right? A little bit of marketing communications there, writing, content management. So, and most of what I was even doing was freelance, contract, short-term work, right? Then I again stumbled upon product management. So when we started out Pexels in like 2019, the idea of Pexels started out in 2019, and again, Pexels is like a design school where UI UX designers have been trained. And when the idea started out in 2019, I was again communications manager for Pexels, right? So everything has to do with communication at Pexels, and gradually we started to push Pexels forward, and I was more or less doing the job of communications and PM at the same time, right? We had somebody who was actually put in the PM role, but then it was like myself and him were working together to again put out that role and make the role, make the duties of that role come out very well. And even back then, to be very sincere, it was not like you even understand 1,000,001 things that we are doing, right? It was just again doing the job as it comes, knowing that we're building products for the user, understanding that we had people wanted to learn, and again trying to understand these people, understanding the problems that they face, understanding the reason why they want to again come into this learn UI UX design, and then structuring again the products idea that we have, the trainings that we have to suit these people, right? And then building other products alongside that to ensure that these people are actually getting value, right? And they're actually having their problems and their challenges being solved. So more or less like I stumbled onto product management. But I think one thing specifically brought me into that part. I have a mentor, and she was like, when I was speaking with her about some challenges I had sometimes back, she was like, Banji, you're currently doing communications management. And I feel like that role is too, she feels like that role is too, is holding me back, according to her. Right. And she felt like I needed to do something bigger than just, again, managing communications within an organization, right? Anything that to do with communication. So she felt like I should do something bigger. And then she recommended that I could do program management, I could do product management. Then she's actually a project manager herself, right? So she was like, I could do program, I could do product. And so, of course, I did my research, run through it, and then eventually, right, and that's when I now officially, right, now say, okay, I wanted to do product management, even though I was already unofficially doing the job of a PM, right, before that time, prior to that time. So by the time I had that conversation with my mentor, she said, okay, go into product management. And of course, officially I became a product manager, right? I went to learn the skill sets, and then started learning on the job. Again, I started understanding that some of the things I had done prior to even that time that I had that knowledge that I was going to be a PM, right? Well, already product management things. Even before then, right? I had worked on a business idea sometimes back in like 2015, 2016. Right? Looking back at all of those times, I saw that, all I was doing back then was literally product management, because I'd always been a person for people, right? I've always been a person for people. I love talking to people. I love building relationships with people. I love ensuring that if I have something that I'm trying to do is kind of solves people problem, or it kind of meets a need or deliver some form of value. So literally, I have been unofficially doing product management, right? But then officially, I then came into product management. I think that was 2019, 2020, thereabouts, right? Then what else? What else? I think that was like majorly my story coming into tech. I think I've been in I would say that I've been in tech. That's the way I personally see it right now. Before, I wouldn't see it like that because I was not even aware about tech, right? But right now, looking at my storyline and my past and looking at where I've been coming from, right? I would have said I would say maybe I've been doing tech since like 2015 because that's when I've been writing, right? I've been writing, doing one kind of freelance work, had one Medium page somewhere. Again, not like it was huge thing, but that's what I've been doing right from time, right? And also I do that with music, right? I'm also a musician. I play the piano in the church, have a music band and all of that. So I'd be doing that. That was like my full-time work. I did a little bit of photography, but really, literally I was doing majorly writing, music, back then. And then came into communications like 2019, right? Product management 2020, right? So yeah, I think that's how I would say my tech journey has been, right? Personally for me in terms of how I've transitioned into tech generally.
Yeah, that's really amazing. And I think one thing that really stood out for me in your story is that I think for our ecosystem here in Nigeria, right, is there a lot of us actually have been doing a lot of roles that were defined, let's say, like outside of the country, within the tech space. Say, for
Yeah.
example, like some 7, 8 years ago, if you were a front-end engineer, you literally would be doing UI UX as well. And as of then, we didn't even know there was a
Mm,
specific role that this was supposed to be somebody's job. Like people who were engineers 10
yeah,
years ago actually had to do UI UX. So, and that shows just how much that the community is growing because things are getting more defined. And as things are getting more defined,
yeah.
more opportunities are also beginning to emerge because people now value those roles on their own. Because like 2015, people
Independent.
probably, yeah, because 2015 probably people didn't even value maybe what UX writing was back then. So even if you're trying to sell
So
UX writing in 2015, it could have been very hard because the people you're trying to sell to does not even make
yeah,
sense to them. Yeah,
they
so
don't
like
understand it. There was no awareness to it.
exactly, you'll be struggling to sell it to them, and it still wouldn't make sense, and they would not be able to pay you the value of what you truly want. You were really
Mhm.
worth. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. I think you've answered a little bit of the next question, so I will just take the next question straight to Grace, which is so let me add Grace up now. Um, so, Grace, what factors strongly influenced the new road that you are in now, like coming from front end to full stack blockchain development? Like, what were the factors that strongly influenced that?
Okay, I wouldn't. Well, one of the factor was actually I wanted to try out something new. Should I put it that way? There was a time I was actually getting tired of front end because there was so much you have to know to be a front end dev and a lot. It's too much. Like I was super tired, but then I was still doing it because I love to code, right? So the first time I heard about blockchain was from my brother, and he was like, Grace, you have to move to blockchain. It's really doing stuff now. Since you're a front end developer, it will even help you, blah blah blah. I said okay. Then I didn't even really take any action on that. Then I visited a friend of mine, and he also mentioned the same thing. Well, like Grace, you're already doing well in front end. Just learn blockchain and all of that. You do very fine. I said, let me check blockchain and see how it is. And when I read about it, I really got so interested in it. Decentralization really caught my attention because when someone asked me that the kind of world that I want, I said the kind of world I want is a world where the government does not have a say over our lives, that kind of thing. So yeah, when I saw decentralization, I got so interested, and I wouldn't really call it like transition. I call it upskilling because even in blockchain, my front end skill is still very extremely needed. So if I haven't been a front end dev, it would have been super hard for me to actually transition to blockchain. So I can tell you now, I'm still doing front end. Yes, front end is still part of it. That's why I'm a full stack. So there's a part of Web3 front end and there's a part of smart contract, but I'm doing the two. So that's why I am a blockchain. I'm a full stack blockchain. So the factor that really made me transition is just the interesting topic called decentralization, which I got a lot interested in, and I was like, okay, I would like to build in this aspect, and then I moved straight into it.
Amazing. So interest, or should I say personal core values, was what fueled your transition or upskilling, like you mentioned it, into blockchain.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah. So before we go into the next couple of questions, if you are just joining the session, this is Beyond the Code by WebBoss, and Beyond the Code is a monthly WebBoss webinar series where we talk about things beyond the code. That is the non-art skills or topics that we believe that nobody is talking about within the tech ecosystem, because we believe you can learn how to do blockchain anywhere, but these topics are quite important. They are the things that form how well you perform like within the tech space. And the topic of discourse today is where exactly is the money in tech? And if you're live on this session and you have a chance to win a book by either Grace or Olabanji, and all you have to do is just drop a comment in the comment section about at least 2 lessons that you've learned from 2 of our panelists, and you stand a chance to win any of their books, right? And ensure that you are subscribed to WebBoss YouTube channel and drop your Twitter handle as well. If you're enjoying the conversation so far, please feel free to drop a comment in the comment section, and yeah, we'll continue the show. So I will bring up Olabanji now, and the next question is, say for an individual who is trying to get into tech purely for the money, Grace has talked about how a personal value of decentralization has influenced our transition into blockchain. You've talked about how you've always done stuff, how you were doing product management and you didn't even realize that you were doing product management. So let's say I'm just a guy. I'm not like you and Grace, and I just want to go into this tech. I hear that there's money in this tech thing. So what fields or skills should I be looking to acquire as just that guy who doesn't really care about passion or hard work or all of those things? I feel like I have all of that figured out. So what skills and
Yeah.
fields should I be looking at?
Okay, so permit me to cut something somewhere. So the thing is this: if you are just coming into tech to make money, I'm going to bust your bubble, and I'm going to be the devil advocate. You're not going to make money like that. Permit me to bust the bubble. As you can see, I'm holding a pen because I'm actually going to write some things that as it's coming to my head. Now, I wrote the book called The Blood Money in Tech, right? And one of the things that I shared in the book is this: money is a result of value. So when you have that basic understanding, right, it's easier. The truth is that I'm beginning to. I had a very a detailed conversation, an interesting conversation with a friend of mine, Anayo, right? And I said, Anayo, see, money is beyond even tech. Don't let us. We are even limiting it to tech too much. And maybe it's the reason why some people are even, there are some people that are like, what is this tech thing? What is this tech thing? All everywhere, tech. Must I become a PM? Must I do software? I've had people reach out to me like, must I do software development? Must I be a product manager? Must I be a UI UX designer? Must I be a product marketer? Different, tech skills. And I've had people kind of have that revolt towards it, right? And I can tell you, especially as a musician, I play the piano, right? And I have a music group. And I said that these guys in the music group, nobody's even focusing on anything tech. So there's a word out there that is not even tech, right? And I've come to see that there's actually money out there. Let's even leave the aspect of tech, right? There's money out there. And like I said in my book, money is a result of value. So if you are coming into tech and you're just saying, oh, I'm just going to come into tech, tech is the next big thing, there's money in tech, and you don't have that mind of value, let me serve you breakfast right here so that the breakfast is going to be. But let me serve you the breakfast here, right here, right? if you don't have the mindset of value, your rush into tech is just going, the way you rush into tech is probably the way you're going to rush out of tech. You have to have the mindset of value. So, because, and it's a very interesting field, the more results you can deliver in tech, right, the more money you can make in tech. For example, if you are a software developer and you're able to write a lot of codes that can help a company generate a let's even not go to dollars now, let's just say you're able to write a line of code that helps a company generate 20 million naira. Why won't they afford to pay you 1% of that money? Or no, not 1%, 5%. 5% is 1 million naira, right? If you're able to help a company generate 20 million naira revenue, of course, you should be able to collect a 1 million naira salary because you're able to help them generate 20 million naira revenue. And that's the way I think about tech. I think about results personally, right? And the truth is that most companies today think about results too. Nobody wants somebody to just be working and be working and be working, and then you cannot even tie the person's work to a result that is affecting the company. And that's the way you want to think if you want to really make it in this tech industry. And that's the way I personally see it. The result that you bring to the table is going to influence how much you can earn. And you know the beautiful thing about that is that means I can be able to help this company generate more money, which is interesting and exciting for me personally. So if I'm able to help you bring 200 million naira revenue, that means you should not be expecting to pay me. You can't even pay me 2 million naira out of 200 million naira revenue, right? If you're making 200 million naira from the point that I'm bringing into this organization, you can't pay me 2 million naira salary. You probably want to be paying me in dollars, like $5,000 or maybe $10,000, because I'm helping you to do 200 million naira revenue. So it makes a lot of sense for me personally, because again, money excites me personally again, right? So, but there's that point where if you're coming into tech, whether you have passion, whether you don't have passion, whether you are diligent, whether you are, let's even leave all of those things. Don't just come into tech because of the money without having that aspect of the value they are going to bring into play. There's nothing like, I'm just going to make money. And that's the reality. Don't let us boo ourselves. There's nothing like I'm just going to make money. Nobody's just going to come and give you money without you bringing something of value. And in most cases, we all know that for you to make any amount of money, you're probably going to bring in times 10, times 20 of that money that you probably want to make. So for example, again, this is just a random assumption. If you want to make 500K as in terms of salary, you probably should be helping that company or contributing to the company making maybe, let's say maybe 10 million naira, which is like 5% of that 10 million naira. Again, this is just the way I personally look at money calculations personally, right? So if I'm helping your company, or if I'm helping my company to generate 10 million naira, why shouldn't they pay me? Why can't I collect 500K salary, which is just 5% of that 10 million naira? Right? So that's the way I look at tech. So I think in the concept of results. So if I'm able to help you generate so and so revenue in terms of results, then that means you should be able to pay me so and so amount of money. And if you cannot pay me, then of course I take away my skill. You can find someone else that will help you generate that revenue. Now that might be sounding like proud, right? But again, the point that I'm trying to make here is that you don't just come into tech with, I just want to make money, I just want to make money. The most important thing, I think the focus should be on what value can I deliver, which is what product management is in its essence. Product management is all about, again, building products to deliver value, to solve users' problems. So if we are not solving users' problem with our product, then why should you as a user use the product? For example, we're using YouTube right now. This is a YouTube live section. But if you're not getting value from YouTube, you probably will not be on YouTube today. And the only reason why, for example, I personally do YouTube Premium, where I pay for YouTube Premium subscription, where I don't see adverts and all of that, right? The reason why I'm paying for that is because I don't want to see ads, right? It's a value to me. So if YouTube is not delivering that value to me, then what is my essence of being on YouTube? And everybody is like that. We are all like that. If I'm not getting value from something, I'm not going to pay for it, right? If I'm not getting, or if I don't get some form of value from something, I'm not going to pay for it. So don't come to tech with the mindset of, I want to make money, I want to make money. I think you should focus your mind more on what value am I going to deliver and what results can I deliver for people or for organizations that then I can be able to collect a certain percentage of it. And it's a way of, again, it's a business mindset that I personally have. And that, again, everybody might not think like this, but I want you to focus on that point of the value that you can bring. So if you bring value, definitely you will get value in return. And if you have that mindset towards even every aspect of life, let's even remove tech. Go and build a retail shop now, for example. Go and even do, I always tell my, there's one certain illustration, and I'm going to end my answers with this illustration. I always tell my product managers in training, right? There's a certain illustration I use, and some of them are probably even familiar with it, right? I say, if you have a laundry business, right? Just a laundry business, it doesn't have anything, might not necessarily even have anything to do with tech. But let's assume that you are serving maybe just 1,000 people in Lekki phase 1, right? That's 1,000 people. And these 1,000 people are paying you 5K, just like 5,000 naira times 1,000 people, right? Every week. That 5,000 naira times 1,000 people every week is 5 million. In a month is 20 million. In a year is 240 million, right? Just from a laundry business serving 1,000 people, and those 1,000 people are paying 5K every week. That small laundry business can do a 240 million naira revenue, and this is not tech. But because the laundry business is solving 1,000 people's problem, and in return for solving those 1,000 people's problem, they are paying this laundry business 5K every week to solve their problem of laundry, to wash their clothes and have it delivered back to them. That laundry business can do a 240 million naira revenue. This is not tech. So that same laundry business that is doing 240 million revenue, why can't they pay a staff 500K if you are doing 240 million revenue? Of course, they'll pay a staff 500K. They'll pay a staff 1 million. They'll probably pay a very solid staff that is, in charge of running or management, maybe 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 10 million, because they are doing 240 million revenue. So it's just only logical that they will look for the best sets of people, keyword, best sets of people that can deliver value. Keyword again, best sets of people that can deliver value. So if you want to make big money in tech, be ready to deliver so much value to companies. And I think that's the point that a lot of people should focus on more than coming into tech, learning tech skills. Because if you just learn tech skills and you don't have the mindset that you want to deliver value, then of course, you learn your tech skills and you just be an ordinary UI UX designer, or you be an ordinary product manager. But when you have the mindset that, I'm going to organizations, I want to deliver value, I want to be able to help companies grow, I want to be able to build products that are going to impact thousands of people, and you have that mindset, and then you bring that to work, right? You're coming with that value mindset to work. By the time you do that and you're able to drive some form of growth for the organization, regardless of whatever role that you take, it doesn't have to be like a PM, it doesn't have to be a PM, it doesn't have to be, whether you're a software developer, whether you're a UI UX designer, it's the result that matters. So if you can deliver results to organizations, there is no way, if they don't want to pay you, you will leave that company and find another company that is going to pay you. And today, companies are looking for people, right? So if I'm helping a company to make 200 million, or maybe not only me, maybe my effort alongside the team effort is helping the company to make 200 million, they can't say they cannot pay me 2M, right? Which is just, again, 220, if I'm making you 200 million, 2M is just 1% of 200 million. So why won't they pay me 2 million? Because I am contributing to them making the 200 million. And you know that you are really, really contributing. But if you're not really contributing, of course, you can't come to a company that you're not contributing. For example, now, maybe a gardener at Chevron now, for example, is not contributing to the income of Chevron. So, of course, Chevron can decide to pay the person 30K or 40K or 50K for doing their gardening service. But if it's a high-level staff that is contributing, maybe the software developer at Chevron, or again, I don't know if Chevron employs software developers, but I'm just saying, right? The software developer is doing something, or the team of software developers are doing something that is helping Chevron to drive their growth, or help them make more money, or help them increase their impact. Of course, they can pay that team of software developers individually 2 million naira each, because the result of what those software developers are doing is evident in the company's revenue. And I think this is the point that a lot of people should focus more on if you are coming into tech. The question is, what results can I help organizations achieve? And what value do I bring to the table to help them achieve? And if you have that mindset, you can command any money that you want to earn, because you know that if I come into your company, I can help you achieve ABCD in so and so period of time. And so you should pay me 2.5 or pay me $5K or pay me $10K per month because this is the result that I can help you achieve. So, and the truth is that you cannot help companies achieve big results in with short experience, right? And it's going to come back to maybe something I'll talk about later about again, people patiently building their experience and building their skill sets, right? Because you can't just under 1 year, if you have 1 year experience, the truth is that there's only so much that you can do, right? Except you are really stretching yourself and pushing yourself, which again is advisable that you do that. You stretch yourself, you push yourself. But experience comes with time, right? And the kind of results you can help organizations achieve, right, comes with also time too. You cannot, if you are just 1 year experience, you probably cannot even help a company make 5 million naira, right? Or maybe you can. Again, it's possible if you are very smart, you are very sharp, you are thinking about solving problems, you are thinking about value. Of course, you can even do that in a year, right? And then you can be able to say, oh, I have 1 year experience. And I've seen people who have less than 1 year experience collecting 400K, like 400K, which is rare. You can't see that in any other industry. Somebody that does not have experience. A doctor said there are a lot of doctors that have studied 7 years and they are not even any 400K. Right. I have a friend I wrote a story in the book, The Blood Money in Tech. He's a UI UX designer. He started in 2020. No, he started in 2020. In 2021, he's already collecting 400K. He's the person I'm talking about. And he started UI UX design in 2020. And in 2021, he's already collecting 400K salary. But of course, not everybody. It's not typical for everybody. Not everybody has that kind of. But he worked hard. When I mean he worked hard, right? He literally was building himself and focusing on the value that he can also add to companies. And I think this is where I will just stop here. You want to come into tech, focus on the value that you can bring, focus on the result that you can deliver for organizations, even over your supposed skill sets, like, oh, being a good designer. It's not about being a good designer. I was in a section a few days ago. This guy, what's his name? He's a top level UX designer in, I think, whether it was bookings.com, anybody that knows bookings.com. And he said, Omo, it's not about being a very good designer. It's about you solving problems for the company and helping them to make money. If like know how to push pixels and know how to draw all the old design, all the interface in the old world and be it's not even about your creativity. He said it was like, I think the way he said he used the word maybe fuck creativity, right? Permit me to use that. But it was like, it was just trying to be very real about being result driven because creativity, if it's not solving problems and generating some form of value for other people. So you can be creative and not be solving problems. Very popular. You can be creative and not be solving problems. You can be creative and not be delivering value. So instead, focus on delivering value, focus on solving problems, and of course, definitely you can command any amount of money, like literally command any amount of money that you really want to earn.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think one thing that really stood out for me in Olabanji's discourse is like money is not even totally tied to tech. Like the money already exists in the tech space, but what value or what problems are you coming in to solve? Are you ready to put in the hard work, and are you also do you know what you are worth itself? Maybe that would be a topic for maybe another web boss webinar where we talk about maybe things like negotiating salary and knowing your worth as someone in tech. Thank you so much, Olabanji, for doing a deep dive into that aspect of I just want to go into tech. All I care is about the money. I don't care about whatsoever. You can pick up any tech skill. You can decide to learn any tech skill. All that matters in the end is that tech skill you are picking up, like what value is being added. Are you ready to put in the work to be able to solve real world problems that then brings you the money in the end? So we'll go to Grace now, and the topic or the question I have for Grace is say for an individual who is trying to get into sorry, that was the previous question. Say as someone who has probably gone through a training or some sort of boot camp, where can I find this money in tech that everyone is talking about? That is, people say we should go and learn tech skills. I've learned the tech skills. I've gone to boot camp. I've done this one and that. But after all of that, then where is this money in tech?
Okay. Um, Olabanji has said a lot, I think, concerning this also. One thing I would just like to add well, one or two things I would like to add is that so it's not about boot camps, right? It's fine, it's okay, it adds to your chances of getting a job and all of that. So I tell people one thing. So it's not enough to watch the video. Are you building? What have you built? What have you done? Right? So I've attended boot camps, I've watched 100 videos. Okay, show me what you can do. Show me what you've done. So those are the key questions you should ask yourself. So it's not about the boot camps you've attended. It's not about so it's about what you've done, what you can do. Right? I've actually gotten jobs without interviews. I've gotten offers, projects, thousands of dollars without any um interview per se, and that's because they've seen what I've been doing. I've written articles, I've built stuffs, and the trust came from there. So that's one of the things that make you command money. When you put something out that okay, this is something you can do, it commands respect. And because it commands respect, they trust you to actually give you their money. So that's how it works. So I've attended a lot of boot camps, yes, for sure, right? But what have you done? What have you done to actually show that okay, you know this thing? So it is after it is when you have shown you know it. Because even a lot of companies outside Nigeria, they will, outside your resume, outside your take home, they will still do physical tests to just to be sure that okay, this is not someone that went to copy a code and come and give it to us. There are still online interviews that they'll be looking at you like this and you'll be solving the problem. That's just for them to know if you, and there are some that they skip those processes for. Why? Because they've seen everything this person have done. They've gone through your social medias. And that's why I tell people not to take your social media for granted. Don't post unnecessary stuff on your social media. And what I mean by unnecessary, I'm not saying you should not joke. I joke, but I don't post something outside what I want my social media to project, right? So even if I joke, I just post memes on for developers and all of that. I know ladies, they post different content. They can be dancing and be shaking bomb bomb. They can dress anyhow. These are things that count, right? They really really count a lot. So how you show forth what you can do when Olabanji was talking about value is very very important. And it is based on what they've seen you do that they actually trust you. You see some white companies treating Nigerians anyhow. It's because they've not seen you do stuff, right? There's a way you command respect when you've done stuff with what you do, and that's where the money is. I won't lie to you. There are a lot of ways you can get money without even too much stress. Yes, there are companies. Most companies even go to your social media straight up to just see your background, and if they see that you've been doing something outside what you should be doing, they just don't reach out to you. Not now talk of companies that reach out to you and then they not even see anything to show forth for it. So um I it's good. It's good. When I wanted to interview someone and then we're checking her resume and she has certificates. I think it was up to 5 certificates, but no project. I was like, why? Like, it is through your project that I know if you are fit for the job or not. It is not with your certificates that you have listed here. And then we didn't even go further because we did not see any project on our GitHub, on our resume, no project. So how do we even want to know if you are good or not? So it's not about boot camps, it's not about that, but what you actually show for people that you can do. And that's what commands the respect from their hand, which also commands their money. I'm reading a book selling like crazy currently, and he was saying there are things you do in marketing that your customer won't just have choice than to give you the money. They have seen companies outside Nigeria begging talent to actually work for them. In fact, some are even afraid that this person is too good for us because of his past works, because of the works he has done. and they are even ready to pay any amount you want to collect, as much as you can bring your expertise to the table, right? I was doing an interview with a company in Dubai, and the guy saw that I've trained 3,000 people. He was like, how did I do it? This is what they want. He liked me instantly. In fact, when they were delaying the second step of the interview, it was like, Grace, don't worry, I will chase them. They must do the interview with you. That's crazy, right? It's just, I don't know him from anywhere, but he was even ready to help. He was ready. If he had a company, he would have just hired me that instant. And that was because I've done a lot of things. There's a job I'm doing currently. I didn't do interview. The person saw my book on Web3, and then he just trusted that, okay, I can handle their project. Not just the book though. I've built some NFT projects that I've posted on LinkedIn. He saw everything, and he just believed, okay, I can handle this project. And then we started. So that's how it is. So it's not just about your boot camp and all of that. Also what you build. Don't just learn to code. This is my line, right? Don't just learn to code, learn to build. It is very, very important. Don't just learn to design. Like, I have watched video of design. Learn to really, really design and show forth the design you've done. Don't just watch videos on how to write. Write. In fact, one of the best ways to learn to write is to write. So write and all of that. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Grace. I think the conclusion that we're arriving at is becoming obvious is there is money in tech, but the way to access that money in tech is through the value that you're able to offer. So it's not even just about going to pick up a tech skill, right? It's about in the end, you said, oh, you went. I think there's this popular trend where people will look for maybe a popular course, say free code camp, then you acquire the
Yeah.
certificate, and you don't go ahead and like you go to some people's LinkedIn. I'm guilty too as well, right? But I've built projects, right? Which is the only thing you see is just free code camp, some
Yeah.
certificate, some. Then outside of that, you see that they've actually not built anything
Anything.
outside of that. Like it's very important for you to get hands-on on what it is you are learning. Build something. You're learning product management. Try look for somebody who is a developer, somebody who is a designer. You guys try and come up with something and build. That helps you to build your competence outside of just the theory and everything. Like you get hands-on knowledge. When you get hands-on knowledge, you have value that you can give to people. Then you're able to get the money. Yeah, so before we go to what seems like the final question, I'll just plug a few things here and there. And that is just basically like if you're just joining the session, this is Beyond the Code. Beyond the Code is a web boss monthly webinar where we talk about things beyond the code, that is things beyond the hard skills and beyond the hard skills such as learning design, product management, learning how to code, and all of those things, because we believe that there are lots of awesome resources out there that you can use to learn that. But there are conversations such as this one that we believe that having enough are not having enough publicity or enough publicity, that people are not talking about it enough. And we feel like if you're going to the tech space, these are things that you should be aware of, such that this new career or this new profession that you're about to choose, you have like the big full picture of what to expect, right? And like I've mentioned, we are giving away 2 copies of Grace's book on how to how to leverage how to get into Web3 and also the blood money in tech by Olabanji. The way to qualify is just to simply drop a comment in the comment section on at least 2 things that you've learned so far in this session, and also drop your Twitter handle. You must be subscribed to the channel to win, and we'll be picking winners from the fastest finger. So it's not about, oh, go and share with your friends on social media and all of that. Like just drop comment. The first 10 people to say, oh, these are the lessons they've learned from Olabanji, they're going to get a copy of his book. And the first 2 people who say, oh, these are at least the 2 lessons they've learned from Grace, they're going to get a copy of our book. So the last question here is actually saw this question on Twitter while we're preparing for this session, and I just thought to add it to this session. It's very similar to the last question, which is, oh, someone has gone through boot camp and all those things. But this is a particular use case that someone posted on Twitter. And the person was like, if someone has been in tech for 3+ years and still not gotten a job, should they give up or keep trying? I think this question is very deep, right? So, Grace, would you like to go first at giving that question a star? If someone has been in tech for 3+ years and still not gotten a job, should they give up or keep trying? Grace, what are your thoughts?
Okay, there's this saying that if you've been trying something and it's not working, change the strategy. It's not about giving up, change the strategy. Right. So that's one thing I would say. It's not, you don't have to give up, but you should check, is this working for me? What is happening? I've seen people move from front end to product design. Hey, plenty people, they left all of us that remain in front end. They ran to products. And that's because they found product design more appealing to them, more interesting. And now I have a friend, her name is Shayo. We were coding when we were in Futa. She graduated like this. That's how my friend started product design. And in no time, she has started making a lot of money in product design. And we've been coding for some years, I think 2 years or so. But the money wasn't really there. We're always complaining, there's no money, blah blah blah. If you get job, it's once in a blue moon and all of that. So she just moved to product design after she graduated, and now she's balling, right? She made a step, she made the step of moving from front end to product, and she found herself more engaged in that line, right? But me, on the other hand, I stayed in front end because I just know that front end is my way. I tried design, right? But it was boring to me. Design is interesting to some people, it's boring to me, right? I just feel like, okay, coding brings design to life, so let me choose the life. That kind of thing. So I would say you should not give up, just change the strategy. And also look at what you've been doing for that 3 years. Have you actually been doing anything? Right? A lot of people call them, I've been in tech for 2 years. Okay, oh, what have you now done in that 2 years? And I can't imagine you saying you have been in tech for 3 years and maybe you only have one project. People also complain, but paid projects are not coming and all of that. If paid projects are not coming, do sample projects. There are a lot of sample projects online that you can do to actually build your own portfolio. So I understand that there might money is actually a motivation, a big one, I would say, a big motivation at that. There are times that you'd have been tired and they just send you money, the engine jack come back again, that kind of thing. I understand that, but really, if you want something, you have to work for it. So if you are not seeing the money, you have to actually see, there's a time where you chase money and there's a time money chases you. So if you are in that part where you are chasing the money, and you have to actually work to actually chase that money, right? So whatever you've been doing, that means it's not enough. Let's say you've just been coding in the corner of your room. Nobody knows you. Nobody even knows you're in front end there. But in your head, you've been in tech for 3 years, right? One of the things you do is actually to put yourself out. Nobody even knows how good you are until you put yourself out there. Nobody knows how good you are. Nobody. You can't be in your room and be saying you've been tech for 10 years and you're saying you're not making money. Sorry, who knows you have been coding? Sorry, who knows? Maybe your roommates or your friend or your parents. But those are not the people that will give you a job. Those are not the people that will give you the money that you want, right? There's a time, like I said, where you chase those people that give you the money, and there's a time they will start chasing you. About there's a point I've gotten to right now that I was just telling myself I don't think I can apply for a job again. Like, I'm just okay at the moment. Like right now, I'll just work till actually build my own personal product and all the things I'm planning, right? So that's just how it is. There's a time where they'll be the one coming. I'll be like, no, nope, nope, you are not doing. But there'll be a time that you just have to take everything so that you can build your own portfolio, and so that people can see what you've been doing and you can get the job you want. Right. There was a time I took a lot of projects in, just that at least something will be in my resume. So don't just sit there and be saying you've been 3 years, but you're not making any effort, right? You're not making any effort. I also know that people are lazy. Like I mentioned, if you want what let's say you are looking at Jeff Bezos. Oh no, let me make Mark Zuckerberg as an example. We all say, even Mark Zuckerberg dropped that from school, right? So if you want what Mark Zuckerberg wants, do you know what he did to actually make a lot of money? Do you know he came from a rich family? You don't know that, but you just say it. Me say, bye, I need to drop out from school and all of that. Then you drop out, then your eyes will now open. And all of so it's not about how many years I've been. I've seen someone 1 year and this is making a lot of money. What's the difference? What's the difference? It's because the person was actually doing the things that me took me like 2 3 years to actually know that okay, I should be doing this so to bring money and all of that. So if you have been a lot of years in tech and you've not actually been making the money that you want, please change strategy. Learn what is needed. Learn what is needed. Right now, a lot of people are, I'm super good in Angular, but babe or bro, Angular is not in markets as much as before again. Now, if you want to apply to companies, they want React, they want Vue. If I React more than anything now, right now, and you're there saying, babe, you have to upskill. So one of the things that can also make you not see what you want is when you are obsolete. You are not upgrading as tech is upgrading. Tech is actually a fast growing industry that you can't afford to just be in one place for like 3 months. In 3 months now, we start hearing what is new. That's the truth about tech. You start hearing, when I started blockchain to Solidity, now they've been shouting Rust. Now I need to just feed my brain with Rust, right? I'm not saying you should be jumping from one thing to another, right? This one is like different. When I'm talking about not being obsolete, is learning things that make what you are doing better. I'm not saying you can't be learning other skills. They are two different things, right? So you should, one of the major advice is just to change. Look at yourself. Okay, what have you been doing? What is right? What is not right? And that is why it's also good to have mentors. So you don't just be learning what is wrong. Mentorship, like if you have a mentor, they will tell you, this is the next big thing to learn. Learn it now. Right now, I'm super glad my brother and that my friend told me to learn blockchain. Oh my God, I'm super glad. And that's because I have people that can tell me to learn this because that is the next big thing, right? And when I started learning it in November, it was looking all French. I couldn't understand a shit. But then, even with my or little understanding, I upped on projects. I started building. I'm not even a year into blockchain yet, but people are started seeing me like, boss. I'm not even a year into it yet. I started last year, November. But because I've taken my time to actually build and learn a lot of things, it's just I bought a course $250 because I needed it for blockchain. And it's really helping now. It's a big win for me, right? So that's just how it is. Change your strategy, change the things you are doing. If you can also talk to someone higher or like a senior and ask like, why, what is happening to me? They will tell you where you are doing it wrong. They will let you know that, okay, this is not what you are supposed to be doing, this is what you are supposed to be doing. And actually, if you have a mentor right from start, it will help you not to just waste your time, so that you'll be able to be on the right track right from the beginning, right? People say experience is the best teacher. Well, if it's foolishness when you make the same mistake your elders have made. They are elders because you can learn from their own mistake, and so your journey one, and then your processing won't be as long as they have. So if you have people senior, don't compete with them. I read this, my pastor said, don't compete with people you should be learning from. No, don't compete with those people. Learn from them, and so that your own career journey wouldn't be too big or too much of a thing to do. Do you understand? So yeah, that's my take on that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Grace. I feel like there's so much value that you distilled into those few minutes. Like there's a whole lot to learn from that. Don't try to compete with your mentors. Try and get mentorship. And like I actually have a personal story because I think I've been doing tech for 8 years, like graphic design, motion graphics, even did product design before I decided to do like front end development, right? And that was just like you said, it was just I just sat back. I'm like, all the skills that I have, which one was making me more money at the point? Because I obviously loved all of these things I was doing, and it was front end. It was building websites for people that paid me more. Like it was paying my bills for months, and I'll be doing graphic design for people. And before the fly is over, you're even done spending the money. So you should look for a way to upskill, because 3 years is a whole lot in the
Yeah.
tech space. That money is on the table, and you said you haven't gotten a job. You may not have gotten a job, but the fact that you've not even gotten project or someone to pay you for a tech skill that you have is actually like very difficult to believe. So, like Grace has advised, you may look into changing your strategy, talk to someone higher, maybe seek mentorship, right? Or
Yeah.
maybe like we've concluded on this call, that the money is not just even about tech, it's about the value that you can offer. Maybe there's another industry where you can offer value. Maybe you're already doing product design, maybe consider front-end development. If not front-end development, maybe blockchain or maybe Web3 or something. So before, I think that's the final question for the session. So before we close, we would like to hear Olabanji's thoughts about it. Someone who has been in tech for 3+ years and have still not gotten a job, what should they do? Should they keep trying or should they give up? Olabanji, what's your thought?
That's a the truth is that I think Grace has even said everything, right? Thank you so much, Grace, for that detailed breakdown. I think she has said everything. Truth is that if you are not making money in tech, or you have been in tech for a while and you have not been able to break even, something is wrong. And it's from you as an individual or from that person as an individual. I mean, something is definitely, definitely wrong with you or your approach. Maybe not you as a person, right? Or your approach to how you are going about what you are doing. You know, like Grace said, if something is not working, you change it now. It's just the way, something is not working. Let's change it ASAP. There's no point trying to play around something that is not working. There's no point trying to be doing something that is not working. Right? If it's not working, you figure it out and find solutions to it. It shows that even you as a person, if you have been doing something for 3 years and you as a person have not sat down to look at and say, Omo, there's a problem somewhere, or that be pay, don't mind me as I'm speaking my Yoruba, but there's a problem somewhere, like I think this thing is not gelling somewhere, and it's either I myself am missing it, or I am not doing something right, or I am doing something the wrong way. Right. So, for example, now you can be working in tech, maybe you are a UI UX designer, and then all you do in terms of a UI UX design is in your bedroom. How do you expect to get a job? Well, how do you even expect to get a gig? Right. So you're working, you're doing things in your bedroom. It can't work. It cannot work. It cannot work. And I think one of the things that I put in Blood Money in Tech in my book, I think was maybe the fourth or the fifth insights on how you can be able to thrive in the tech industry. I said, put yourself on social media, right? Let your light to shine. It's not bragging. It's not being proud. And Grace talked about this, in her first question or second question that she answered, she talked about this. Even in this previous question that she just answered, she also talked about that, right? You can't be sitting there in your house and you are doing chilling design, or you are just chilling in your house, and then you feel like somebody's going to come and give you a job. Could it work? And in today's world, where the world right now, everything is online, right? Grace said how she wanted to interview somebody and they can't check online. They see what you do online, right? This is one of my biggest advice to people. Put yourself out there. I have a couple of mentees, right? And for those that do that, there's still a very recent one, right? She always put herself online. I don't want to mention her name. She always put herself online. She's quite popular, especially for UI UX designers on Twitter and on LinkedIn. She always posts her design, right, and asks for feedback. And it makes it easier for her to get a job, right? And funny is that she doesn't even get jobs. She just get like short-term contracts where they just pay her a lump sum for the next 3 months. She just works on something and then she moves on to the next gig, and she moves on to the next gig, and she can potentially have like 2-3 gigs at the same time that she's working on, right? So that's one of these simple things, right? You are a skilled person. You don't put it on social media. You're not in communities and engaging in those communities. You're just on your own. You are designing your house. you are chilling in your house, or let's even assume that maybe you have other jobs that you are doing. Even if you have other jobs that you are doing, you are not putting yourself on this other aspect. Because again, I think that's another thing. Some people are currently maybe accountants, and then they are learning design, and but your full-time job is accounting, but you learned design, and then that design that you learned, you didn't put yourself out, you are still doing your accounting full-time, and you say you want to transition into tech. Because I noticed that this thing is also popular with people, right? I have a number of people like that are on my contact list that I know that they have learned one tech skill, they have gone through some boot camp, but they are still doing their full-time job, and they have not effectively positioned themselves in such a way that they're able to transition into that new thing, even though the essence of them learning that new skills is for them to transition based on maybe their initial plan. But for one or two reasons, either they are afraid to leave their current job. And even if you are, I always advise that you always have your job on the hand, right? For example, this is my mentee that I talked about. She still has a job. Oh. She works for federal government, right? She still has a job as a federal government staff. Nigeria is still paying her salary, right? She lives in Abuja. Nigeria is still paying her salary, but she has her design work by the side that she's doing by the side, and it helps her to make a lot of money by the side alongside her full-time work. So that is being smart. Then some people have full-time work, and then they will still not still be doing their skill sets by the side, and then they'll now come and tell you 2 years down the line that, oh, I have a tech skill, but I'm not making money. But you have been doing your full-time work without even building your tech skills by the side. Grace said something about working on projects. If you're not getting jobs, work on project. I still told somebody day before yesterday when he called me and said, oh, he's not getting product management job. And I said, work on projects, build products, right? Maybe not necessarily like build it from scratch to finish, of course, but like create the implementation, create like the documentation for product development, right? Create a PRD, work on the product requirement document, create it, add it to your portfolio, create like a pitch deck for it. And then, you never even can tell. Something can pop up from that idea. A business idea can pop up from it. Somebody can see that idea somewhere on social media. Then share it online. Because the truth is that even businesses now, your best form of marketing today is online, right? So you as an individual, put yourself online. Your business, put yourself online. Put yourself online. Share what you can do. Post about what you do. Talk about your challenges doing that thing. Talk about what you have achieved. It's not bragging. Some people see it as being proud. Some people see it like, I'm too shy. I cannot. I'm not that kind of person. That's the word that a lot of people use. I'm that kind of person. Oh, yeah, by the side though. Except you have maybe a solid network. Because again, people who don't post on social media often, right? They either have two strategies, or let's say two strategies now. Or let me say one thing. If you don't post on social media often and you're not a social media person, you don't want to social media person, ensure that you have a solid offline network. Maybe you have a good church group. Maybe you're in a very excellent church where you have, or you're in a mosque that you have access to quality set people, and you are networking with them. Because don't just have, some people have good network, but they don't network with them. Right? This is one of the things that I shared in the Blood Money in Tech. Right? You have to network with people. You can't be in your own world and then expect things to happen to you. And truth is that people are the ones that are going to help you. Right? Somebody gave me the information that I have today. Right? Somebody's going to give you the information that you're going to have today. Right? If I didn't share some information with some people last year, they would not be where they are. If somebody didn't share some information with me 2 years, 3 years back, I won't be where I am today. So it's a ripple effect. But a lot of people stay in their lane. Some people on social media, they don't drop a single comment, but they look at what everybody's achieving in their life, and then they wish to achieve those things. Right? Again, there's two sides to social media. There's that wrong side where it can affect you mentally. But the good side is that you can be inspired to learn from what other people are doing, and then you can take that inspiration and then work on yourself. And again, tech is quite interesting. If you work on yourself really, really well, build your skills, be valuable as a person, there's no how. Under 1 year, you start to see the effects. Like under 1 year. Especially if you're serious. Under 1 year. See, Grace said she came into blockchain 7 months or few months from November, and she's doing well. Right? And imagine if Grace continued at this level, blockchain is still, it's not so new, but in Nigeria and Africa, it's still fairly new. NFT is still new, right? And like I said in my book, one major highlight from my book, which I posted in my book, and I said, if you're going to take anything away from the blood money in tech that I wrote, right? The thing is this: if you want to make it financially, I don't know how do I even use that. The book is even here. How do I use this statement now? There's a particular statement. There's where I use the statement from the first page of the book to the last page of the book, and I said, how do I put that statement now? Just give me a second. And I said, where's that statement? This is it, right? To scale fast or make it big financially, you need to invest your time, your energy, your resources in an industry, market, field, or niche, which is not even limited to tech. That was the interesting thing. I didn't even limit this thing to tech, right? I said to scale fast and make it big financially, you need to invest your time, your energy, and your resources in an industry. Again, tech is an industry, a market, a field, or a niche where there is high demand or potential of high demand for a product or a service or a skill with low competition. And if you can understand that statement, I can sit down and have a 2-hour lecture on that, just that one statement. But the truth is that if you can understand that statement, I also got that from mentors in the past. It's something I've learned in the past. But now it became, when I was writing this book, it became, some of these things opened my mind. I'm like, oh, now I see. Right. And the truth is that the money that people are making in tech today, don't let us sugarcoat it. Next 5 to 10 years, max of people are going to make that money. Then the industry is going to get saturated and the world is going to be looking to the next big thing. But some people are going to make it over this period of time and their life is going to be transformed forever. Like in short, some people, their generation is going to be transformed forever within these next 5 to 10 years. That tech is going to boom. And then some people are going to miss that point. Because the truth is that if you look at successful companies, they just had one major hit point and then that brought them to limelight. And that's the thing about that statement that I shared, right? Tech is not going to be booming for the next 100 years, definitely. Something else is going to pop up that is going to be much more important before Christ comes or before the world comes to an end, whatever the case may be, right? So, but now that tech is an in thing, right, it's only smart that, okay, there is a demand for tech. There is a demand for tech skills. Everybody wants to build technology products. Everybody wants to change people's lives with tech. Tech is what is it right now. And the demand is still going to grow over the years to come. Over the next 10 years, tech, especially in Africa and in Nigeria in particular, is still going to explode, right? Like explode. We are still in the tiniest bit of tech in Nigeria and Africa generally. And Nigeria is like the leader of tech in Africa. Right, we have like 5 unicorns in Nigeria, billion-dollar worth companies, and their majority of customers are Nigerians right here in Nigeria. Right, Flutterwave is $3 billion worth in terms of valuation. That's a sign that something is happening, and it's just only one company, just Flutterwave, that is $3 billion worth in Nigeria. So you can imagine what can happen in Nigeria over the next 5 years. There'll be more companies becoming $1 billion worth, multiple unicorns, and we never even can tell. We probably have a Decagon, a $1 trillion worth company right here in this Nigeria. And their primary customers will be Nigerians because we are 200 million people in Nigeria, for crying out loud, like 200 million people in Nigeria. And it's one of the reasons why all these investors are putting money into Nigeria right now, because it's a developing nation and then we have the crowd. Like we literally have the crowd, right? But again, it won't be like that forever, right? All of this boom of tech won't be like that forever. So you want to again, like if something is not working, like Grace said, change it ASAP. You see that something is not working for you, change it. Maybe it's not just working for you, change it, right? But very importantly, it will be for your best bet to figure out your passion. I think there's a close relationship between passion and what you do, because if you are passionate about what you do, it's going to show, and there's no way you would make money, right? Again, not to sound religious, but the Bible says, "See a man diligent in his business shall stand before kings." But the only way you can be diligent in your business is if you are passionate about it, right? So the way you can be diligent to be passionate, I mean, the way you can be, diligence is going to be, what is going to lead to diligence? And diligence is just you doing something well and doing something right. That's the way I see it, right? With integrity, as by the side, doing something well, doing something right, and the only way you can do something well and something right consistently is if you are passionate about it. So again, I think maybe another thing people need to figure out is that all of us don't even need to work in tech, like be a product manager, be a product designer, be a UI. Just that all of us don't need to be, right? But you can. Everybody has to use something tech because the world is driven by technology. Everybody will do something, will use something that tech would have influenced. So you have to now figure out, what can I do? I might not necessarily even be a product manager, be a software developer, be a product marketer, a QA. I may not necessarily be all of those tech things. But what can I do that has an influence of technology that can impact people? I mean, maybe that's one way people also need to look at it. Like I said, I give the example of that laundry business now, right? The laundry business just serving 1,000 people, paying 5K to the laundry business. That is 5 million naira in a week, 20 million naira in a month, right? If that same laundry business now add technology now, right, and they multiply that 1,000 people. So instead of them serving 1,000 people, they had some form of technology to make their business processes much more effective, and they now start to serve 5,000 people, right? So thanks to technology, now they can serve 5,000 people, and those same 5,000 people are still paying them 5K. Do you know that same laundry business with just those 5,000 people can be doing 5,000 times 5,000 naira is 25 million in a week. That's 200 million in a month. That is 1.2 billion in a year. 5,000 people paying 5K to that laundry business, right? That is not, the laundry business itself is not technology, right? But then the laundry business use some aspect of technology, maybe digital marketing, maybe they build a mobile application to ease their process, multiply their process. And because of doing that, they start to do 1 billion naira revenue in a year if they are consistent with their numbers on a monthly basis. So again, I think our time is fast spent, right? And I think this point I've shared is just, again, talking about that. If something is not working, change it. If something is not working, change it. Figure out. All of us don't even need to work in tech. That's the interesting thing. But you can use tech. And that's the mindset that you want to have, because we literally cannot do without technology today. So even if you don't feel like tech is your team, which is fine, like tech doesn't have to be your team, right? Do what you're passionate about, then figure out how to use tech to multiply that which you're passionate about, right? For example, I told you I'm a musician, I play the piano, right? I have musicians that are doing well. They are not doing tech, but they are using their social media effectively, right? And people call them for gigs, right? People call them for international shows because they are using tech properly. They are smart by using their social media, having YouTube accounts, having Instagram accounts, doing live sections, recording their live videos. That is using technology wisely. For example, Mr. Macaroni is not a tech person, but he's making money. Taoma is not a tech person, but she's making money. All these content creators, they are not tech people, but they are using tech to make their money, which is being smart. They are doing what they are passionate about, using technology to enhance that which they are passionate about, and then making their money. So the idea is not even for you to even necessarily be a tech person. Just figure out, what am I passionate about? Since tech can help me to multiply my results, which is the essence of technology, right? If Mr. Macaroni does not have YouTube, you probably will not have the access that he has today. If Taoma does not have YouTube, if Sabinus does not have YouTube, they probably don't have the access that they have today, right? So, but because there's YouTube, it influences them, and they are smart to use YouTube, because there are a lot of people that have YouTube channel and they are not smart with their YouTube channel. So is you figuring out and saying, okay, what am I passionate about? Because it's what you're passionate about that you will stay true. The problem is that if you're not passionate about something, the tendency that you're going to stay true to that thing for a long time is low. Don't let us bubble ourselves. Even if you make all the money in the world, right, you might probably just make that money and then leave, because there's still a place for passion. But at the same time, like I said in my book again, I said you have to balance passion and solving problems. Because if you are passionate about something and you're not solving problems, for example, Mr. Macaroni is making people happy. All these comedians, they are making people happy. It's a problem because people are sad or people are looking for cruise to cash. So, and what they do is they create the content to give us cruise for us to cash, right? It is problem solving in a way. But if they are just, let's assume that they are just cracking jokes, and we as the users, we are not catching cruise with them, they're not going to make any money. They're not going to be popular the way they are popular. So you have to have a balance of being passionate and then solving problems, right? So that balance is like, it will really help, it will really scale you up, in my own personal opinion, right? Solving problem is the major thing for making money. But when you're passionate, it means that even when you have challenges, you are still going to go through those challenges because you're passionate about that problem that you're trying to solve or you're trying to contribute to. Let me end here. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I could feel the energy and the passion with which you're talking about this. And I really hope that our audience are able to latch onto those words of wisdom that you have shared. This is literally the end of the show. Thank you so much, Grace, and thank you so much, Olabanji, for making it down to share from your wealth of experience and from your wisdom with our audience on where exactly the money in tech is. So I believe that our panelists have done an awesome job in answering that question. And of course, the conversation continues in the comment section. If there is any more question that you have, please feel free to drop it in the comment section and we'll reach out to Grace and Olabanji and give you a response to that. This is Web Boss YouTube channel, and basically what we do right now, or most times these days, is just talk about like issues regarding tech. We are going like beyond the code, which is the art skills we believe you can learn it anywhere. Go to Udemy, you'll see a course for 2,500 naira on front-end development. So we don't have to do that for you, but things that no one will talk about, that's the conversation that we are trying to hold on this channel. And before we end the show, I would like to give a shout out to one of our team members who has done an awesome job in making sure this happened. That's Ojo Victor. You can find him. I've forgotten his Twitter handle. Probably I'll drop it in the chat section or something. It was the one who did the job of reaching out to Grace, reaching out to Olabanji, and a couple of other people who could not make it to the show, just to ensure that this could happen. And for everyone who has made it down throughout the session, I see that a lot of people were actually online throughout the session. Thank you so much for coming around. I hope that this was worth your time. And if it is, please kindly share this video with your friends and people that you think might find the knowledge that we've shared in this session useful. Thank you so much for joining, and do enjoy the rest of your evening and have a wonderful weekend. Yeah, bye.